standing in a peaceful Himalayan valley when, without warning, a massive wall of water, mud, ice, and rocks comes rushing towards you. That is what happened along the Nepal-Tibet border on August 26, 2026, but this was not an ordinary flood. A massive glacier collapse high in the Himalayas triggered a chain reaction that transformed a mountain river into a devastating wall of debris. So, what exactly happened? The story begins high above the valleys, where enormous glaciers sit on steep Himalayan slopes. According to satellite imagery and expert analysis, a large lower section of a glacier suddenly broke away and crashed down towards the valley floor. The falling ice carried huge quantities of rock and loose debris with it. As the mass accelerated downhill, it became an enormous ice and rock avalanche. And that was only the beginning. The avalanche slammed into the Lende Kola river system. Millions of tons of ice, rock, mud, and sediment suddenly entered the river environment. The impact displaced enormous amounts of water and created a powerful downstream surge. Instead of a normal river flowing through the valley, the water became mixed with boulders, mud, trees, and broken ice. The result was a fast-moving debris flow with extraordinary destructive power. The geography of the Himalayas made the situation even more dangerous. Mountain valleys are steep and narrow, meaning floodwater has very little room to spread out. The enormous volume of water and debris was therefore forced through confined channels. As the flow moved downhill, it picked up even more rocks, soil, trees, and debris. The result was something closer to a moving river of concrete than ordinary floodwater. Bridges were destroyed, roads disappeared, buildings and vehicles were swept away, and entire communities were suddenly cut off. Reports indicate that at least 19 bridges and around kilometers of roads were washed away in affected areas. There was another mystery. When the disaster began, seismic instruments detected powerful ground vibrations. At first, some people thought an earthquake might have triggered the event. But later analysis indicated that the seismic signal was associated with the glacier collapse and massive debris movement, not a conventional earthquake. In other words, the flood itself produced enough energy to create a seismic signal. So, did climate change cause the disaster? Scientists are being cautious. The Himalayas are warming, glaciers are retreating, and changes in frozen ground can make mountain slopes and ice structures more unstable. Experts say warming conditions may increase the risk of glacier-related disasters, but scientists have not established that climate change alone directly caused this specific glacier collapse. The immediate trigger was the collapse of the glacier and the resulting avalanche and debris flow. The human cost has been devastating. By August 27th, reports said at least 160 people had been confirmed dead, while hundreds, and in some reports nearly 1,500 people across Nepal and Tibet were still missing. The missing include local residents, workers, tourists, and pilgrims from several countries. Rescue teams are working in extremely difficult conditions with damaged roads, unstable terrain, heavy sediment, and disrupted communications, making the search even harder. The Nepal-Tibet disaster shows how quickly a chain reaction in the Himalayas can become a catastrophe. A glacier collapses, an ice and rock avalanche races downhill. The river is overwhelmed, water and debris surge downstream, and within minutes, entire communities can be devastated. This is not simply the story of a flood. It is a warning about the powerful and unpredictable hazards of a rapidly changing high mountain environment. If you found this explanation useful, subscribe for more science, disaster, and world news documentaries. And let us know in the comments, could better early warning systems prevent future Himalayan disasters like this one? Thanks for watching.